You've seen deaths up in New York, deaths up in Chicago, shootings. How do you explain it, and what are you going to do about it?
I explain it very simply by saying they're Democrat-run cities, they're liberally run, they're stupidly run.
Liberal Democrats have been running cities in this country for decades.
Poorly.
Why is it so bad right now?
They've run them poorly. It was always bad, but now it's gotten totally out of control. And it's really because they want to defund the police. And Biden wants to defund the police.
Sir, he does not.
Look, he signed a charter with Bernie Sanders.
It says nothing about defunding the police.
Oh, really? It says abolish. It says defund. Let's go.
All right.
Get me the charter, please.
All right. So that led to a very interesting exchange where he had his staff go out and get the highlights from that 100-page compact that the Biden team and the Trump team, rather the Biden team and the Sanders team had signed. And he went through it and he found a lot of things that he objected to that Biden has agreed to, but he couldn't find any indication, because there isn't any, that Joe Biden has sought to defund and abolish the police. But let me say, he takes some shots at Joe Biden that I've never heard before. And if it looks like it was hot on that patio right outside the Oval Office there, it was about 100 degrees. And he kept saying, whose idea was this? Well, of course, it was the president's idea. But as he said, he wanted to see me sweat.
Now, either one of two things happened here. Either Trump has lied so many times he actually begins to believe his own lies, or he's just so used to being able to steamroll through his lies that he doesn't expect anyone to actually call him out on them. But that's exactly what happened here, as Fox News' Chris Wallace, for a change, didn't allow Trump to just repeat his usual BS talking points. Now, the issue is twofold here. First, you have Trump's outright lies about what's in Joe Biden's platform. Joe Biden literally wrote an op-ed in USA Today where he wrote, quote, "I do not support defunding the police." So the fact that Trump will lie so freely and so self-assuredly goes to show that the guy has zero appreciation for the truth. Whether something is true or not is of no concern to Donald Trump, to the point where he'll demand to see Joe Biden's, quote, charter that in fact does nothing to reinforce his own lies. And second, he's even lying about defund the police, purposefully manipulating the slogan to make it sound like Democrats want to eliminate police officers. That's not what the movement is about. The movement is about shifting funding away from police departments and toward programs that are actually qualified to deal with certain problems, like the issues of addiction, mental health, and homelessness. It's also about reforming police departments so as not to reward those that engage in reckless or dangerous behavior. And by the way, to Biden's credit, that's the point he makes too. He writes in his own words, quote, "I do not believe federal dollars should go to police departments violating people's rights or turning to violence as the first resort. The better answer is to give police departments the resources they need to implement meaningful reforms and to condition other federal dollars on completing those reforms." Bear in mind too, this isn't some radical leftist proposition. According to the Kaiser Family Foundation, a staggering 74% of Americans feel that police violence against the public is a problem. 3/4 of the country. So Trump may try and frame this as a minority position, but the only one in the minority here is him. The fact is that Trump needs this issue to be at the forefront, however manipulated and perverted he can make it, because the right relies on culture war wedge issues to win. And while he's tried to turn coronavirus into a wedge issue, that's backfired on him spectacularly. And so he needs something else, which is why we're hearing so much about Confederate statues, about Black Lives Matter, about Goya beans, and here about violence in cities. He is so desperate to find a wedge issue that his party can rally around that he's reaching for anything he can. And that includes outright lies about Joe Biden wanting to abolish police departments. Because for Trump, it's not about the truth, it's about his election prospects. Now, if you're Trump, here's why he sticks with this strategy. He knows that if he can bombard you with lies, that A, only a fraction of people that heard the lie are gonna stick around for the fact check, and B, by the time he is fact checked, he's already told 100 more lies, so it's impossible to keep up. And as far as his supporters are concerned, it usually works. But in this instance, and to his credit, Chris Wallace did call him out in real time. He didn't just let it slide like everyone else does. And so in the end, it was Trump who ended up with egg on his face. And so now, instead of the story being whatever Trump wanted it to be, the story has become the fact that Trump lied, got called out, dug in his heels, and was left looking stupid on national television. I know Trump likes to bill himself as this media genius, but he couldn't have played this any worse if he tried. And don't forget to listen to my podcast, No Lie with Brian Tyler Cohen, where I'll take a deep dive into the biggest issues of the week and interview major players in the world of politics, like Adam Schiff, Nancy Pelosi, Beto O'Rourke, Eric Swalwell, Katie Porter, and many more. Again, that's No Lie with Brian Tyler Cohen, available anywhere you listen to podcasts.